Am I the astronaut for getting onto my kid for making a mud cake? Called them mud pies when I was young. I, male 42, have 2 kids, a son 10 and a daughter 12. My wife 40 and I have recently been going through a divorce the past year, and I haven't been able to see my children as much as I would like. One of the main reasons my wife and I are getting a divorce is because of a difference in parenting styles. Wife says I'm way too harsh on the kids for their age, and I disagree. The way I see it, if you don't give kids some serious discipline at a young age, they're going to grow up and turn into criminals. That's the way I was raised, and that's the way I intend to raise my kids. But a recent incident has caused my wife to try and get full custody of the kids. This all happened very recently, so nothing has gone through the court system yet. As of now, it's just all words, but I'll explain my side. I had the kids for the first weekend I've had them in quite a while. Wife has been staying with her parents a few towns over. It's been storming pretty intensely for about a week where I live, so my backyard is incredibly muddy, which is usually where the kids go to play. The rain seemed to let up for a bit, and I told the kids to go out and play. They moaned and groaned about going outside because they wanted to watch their cartoons, but I said that they should go get some time in the sun while they can because of the rain. So they put the rain boots on and coats on because of the mud and went outside to play. I turned on my shows and sat down for about an hour before going to look out the window to check on them. Daughter was building a mound of mud and was completely covered in it. I opened the door and yelled to stop playing in the mud. We have a slide and a swing set, so they have other things to do. She left it alone and went over to play with my son. Another 30 minutes pass, and I look out the window again. Son is on the swing set by himself, and daughter is working on her mud pile again. This time, I got angry. I opened the door and went outside and yelled at her for playing with the mud. She began to cry and told me that she was making me a mud cake. I told her that I already told her to stop playing with the mud and she's going to have to fix the mess she made in the yard, multiple divots and holes from where she had dug up mud and dirt. So I brought son back inside and helped him get cleaned up while daughter was outside fixing the yard. Son turned on some cartoons and I sat back down in my chair. I must have fallen asleep for a bit. I'd had a few beers, but nothing strong. Okay. Because whenever I came to, it was pouring rain. I looked around and daughter was nowhere to be seen. I realized I had left her outside to clean up the yard and locked the door. Okay. I ran over to the window and looked outside, and she was laying in the rain in the pile of mud. I opened the door and yelled for her to get out of the mud and come inside. She sat up and came inside, all upset and angry. I helped her get cleaned up and got both of the kids some dinner. She barely spoke to me for the rest of the weekend. Well, whenever they came back to mom, they told her the story about the mud cake and she was livid. She messaged me about how I left our daughter in the cold rain in mud for multiple hours while she was starving, and I locked the door. I think she's overreacting. When I was a kid, my parents did things like that to me all the time, and I can't be held accountable for falling asleep as I had had a few drinks. I know it's not the best thing to do, but I can't be blamed for it like I did it purposely, and I had to tell her to stop multiple times, so I think that was a just punishment. But now she's trying to get custody. So am I the astronaut for getting onto my kid for making a stupid mud cake? Okay, so it's not the mud cake isn't the problem here. It's not the problem here. Also, I think it's extremely hypocritical when a parent does shit like this and says, "No, go play outside. It's nice and it's fine. You can play outside. We did that when I was a kid." And tells them to go outside. They go outside and then they sit on their asses. The parent does. It's like, okay, so do what I say, not what I do. If you want them to play outside, show them how to play outside. But yeah, there's plenty of stuff to do outside, and it's great for kids to play outside. I think that's wonderful. I don't think using it as a punishment is the right thing to do. And the question here is, am I the astronaut for getting onto my kid for making a mud cake? I don't think that's the problem here. I think the problem here is that you had some beers and passed out in a chair and locked your kid outside. That's what the question should be. And I guarantee you, if this is what your ex is using to try to get full custody of kids, whenever you get into court, it's not going to be, the topic of discussion is not going to be the mud cake. The topic of discussion is going to be that you passed out from drinking beers and locked your kid out during a storm. That's going to be the narrative. It's not the effing mud cake. It's not the fact that they were playing outside. It's none of that. It's the fact that you were neglectful because you fell asleep because you had had a few beers and left your daughter locked outside. Yes, that is neglect. Yes, you will get in trouble for that. Yes, that is a dumbass brozo thing to do. Yes, that's a shitty parent thing to do. Yes, you're an asshole. Yes, this probably is going to cost you custody. And if this was an isolated incident, it's still bad. It's obviously bad if it's an isolated incident because you think it's okay. The way that it's being narrated by you here, OP, is like, yeah, it's I can't be held accountable because I fell asleep because I had had a few beers. How so? So you aren't responsible for your passing out because you were forced to drink a few beers? Who forced you to drink those few beers? Oh, you did. Oh, so you made a choice that had an effect that is a negative effect that you can't be blamed for, I don't think that's how that works. I think you are 100% responsible for this here, and you acting not responsible for it does not help your case. It makes it worse. Dear God, no, this is a shit thing to do. Again, I have nothing against kids playing outside. I think it's wonderful for them. I don't agree with using it as a punishment. I don't agree with being a hypocrite and saying, go play outside and then sitting on your ass drinking beer and passing out. Don't agree with locking your kids outside. Don't agree. There's a lot that I don't agree with here. Kids playing outside is not one of those things. I think it's great for them. The way it's used here is hypocritical. It's stupid. It is tyrannical. It is not cool at all. And he was neglectful. OP, you were neglectful here. And yes, you can be blamed for passing out because it was your choice to drink beer while you were watching your kids, aka kicking them outside so you could sit on the couch, drink beer, and watch your show. The saddest part about all of this for me is that there is an opportunity here where if he had nothing else to do, if he didn't have like a project or work or something like that to do and was just going to sit on his ass and watch a show, he could have gone out there with his kids and really created some memories, created some quality time, done something, thrown the football around. It doesn't matter. You got to be able to prioritize and say, is what I'm choosing to do right now worth more or more important or more urgent than spending time with my kids? It's going to cost you, man. You're going to take a trip all the way to Ascon 1, but, nobody can blame you for it because you had a few beers and you didn't realize you were going to Ascon 1. So, who can blame you? Wake the f*** up.